you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me? Can you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me now? Can you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me now? I'm watching television, a message sending on. Know I've been blessed, I've been seeing prophets, mostly yellow shirts, louder than the broccoli, dancing in my chucks, feeling out of body. Can you hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me, hear me now?
Can the Browns win again? Well, it's the coach. This is the 2018 season, and you've got it tuned to EA Sports. Coming up, it hasn't been said since December 13th, 2016. But the Browns are on a one-game winning streak. They'll try for two. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half. But it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
First opened back in 1975. There's a look inside the iconic Mercedes-Benz Superdome in downtown New Orleans. This is what it looked like just a moment ago in the heart of New Orleans. Folks, there's no place for this noise to go in the Superdome. It is loud, and these fans are ready for football as their Saints get ready to do battle with the Cleveland Browns. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10. A first carry for the rookie Nick Chubb. And a nice run past the 30-yard line there. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
Over the middle, complete. That's Gordon. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask.
Face mask. Defense.
So they'll take the yardage and tack on 15 more for the face mask.
Talk about a play that absolutely costs you in the end. Just trying to do your job, right? Trying to get him on the ground. Next thing you know, they'll march up another 15 against your squad.
Following the penalty, Chubb. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Big Sheldon Rankins there to bring him down.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level, because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. He lost 4 there, and it's 3rd down. He was a 2nd-round pick. Many scouts thought he could have gone higher than that.
And I was one of them. Even though I don't scout for any particular team, I had a first-round grade on him. And frankly, I'm surprised he lasted to the 2nd round. They got a steal with this player.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
That opening drive looked good for a moment there, but they'll wind up being turned away thanks to the missed field goal.
And those especially hurt when you come into a game on the road. You're trying to get things to go your way early, and now you suffer a setback right out of the gate.
A first carry now. This is Alvin Kamara. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 22 carries, 82 yards.
And well-liked by his teammates. In fact, I got on good authority, even though I'm not an investigative reporter, that in their team meeting this week, the offensive line stood up and said, Coach, we've got to have better yardage for this guy. He's number 9 in the league. He's got to be in the top 3 before the season's over. Let's run the ball.
Now Breeze. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Joe Schobert coming hard on the blitz. He dumps him for a loss of 8.
Well, that's a pretty darn good start to his season, huh? A sack in the opener, adds a second one here. That tells you about his offseason. He came in determined to have a big year, and it's paying off.
3rd and long now after the sack of Breeze, and the Saints up against it here. From the gun, it's Breeze. And Gibbs got it. And he'll go down, but not before getting this inside the 30. 23 yards on the play.
Nice catch right there. Brings to mind the sentence, when in doubt, find your veterans.
We used to laugh back in the day when they would call guys like him crafty veterans. You get up in your 30s, you're still playing receiver, but you're around that long at that position, you're doing something right.
Just remember this. When he was young, he thought the crafty veteran was simply a guy who couldn't run anymore. Now he understands a little bit better.
Offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. The false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. They go play action here on 1st down. And he's in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8. Charles, a little bit of feast or famine on this drive. They moved the ball okay, but they've been sacked twice now.
And they've got to figure out how to plug that leak a little bit, right? Keep them away from the quarterback, because when he's not being hit, as you mentioned, they're moving the ball well.
On 2nd down, Kamara. And they won't fare much better here as he maybe gets back to the line. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority, because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Ready.
On 3rd and long, it's Breeze. It's brought in right side by Ginn. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Now, they'll get 15, but that won't be nearly enough. It's 4th down.
And that was a nice catch, and if the goal was to get into field goal range, it certainly appears that they accomplished that.
Well, and sometimes that's what you dial up in these situations, right, when you want 3?
Well, if the goal was to get into field goal territory, even though it'll be a long attempt, I think they accomplished that.
And sometimes you have plays for that. It's not always a 1st down when you want 3. Get a little bit closer, make it an easier shot.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to concede to the defense, and they know what you're trying to get done, and to try and get any more than that is almost folly. Take what you can get, maybe have an opportunity to put 3 points on the board.
And now the Browns coming out on the field. Last time out, they had that long 50-plus yard field goal that they missed.
And I'm sure on their sideline they're thinking to themselves, okay, do we still want to try one if we're in that position again? And I would dare say that the answer would be yes. They're going to have a lot of confidence in their kicker. But just to be on the safe side, I'm sure they told their offensive guys, can we get a little bit closer this time?
Closer.
Yeah, you know, I'd rather get in the end zone first and foremost. But if all else fails, less of a field goal attempt for him.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed.
They go with Chubb on 2nd down. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense, because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
And he'll be touched out here, but not before he does pick up the first. He'll wind up getting 2 there as he does it himself and picks up the first.
It's been a good drive so far. They just wanted to keep it going, so they call low-risk, low-reward play. No one's worried about picking up big yardage here. Quarterback sneak, keep the chains moving, and pick up another 1st down.
And this one caught by Dez Bryant. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The numbers for Bryant last week, 3 catches, 57 yards.
And most teams mark down big plays as ones that gain 10 yards or more. He certainly has big playability, and we just saw it on display.
On 1st down, they'll run with Chubb. He'll get it to the 40. Broke a tackle there to get some extra yardage. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
The Browns opted not to pick a running back with their first 2 selections at number 1 and 4 in the first round. But they circled back in the second round and got a really good one to Nick Chubb out of Georgia. Broke up a nice run there, and that's where he's good. Good vision, able to see where the hole is, and make nice gains each time he touches the ball.
A really good pickup of 28 yards. This drive, it's been a good mix. 3 passing plays, 3 runs, hitting on all 3 of those passes, and the last one putting him in the red zone.
So wouldn't you think play action right here? Because you've got the ability and had the ability to run it and throw it. go play action and take your shot at the end zone.
It's a 6-yard gain on the ground, and that'll make it 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Here we go now.
2nd down, Mayfield. Buying time to his left. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a 3rd down situation. They missed a field goal on their last drive. Here they need something to even get into field goal range on 3rd down. They'll try and sneak it here. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
There may have been a little bit of an element of surprise there. 3rd and inches, and they go quarterback sneak. I still feel like this is a play that often is reserved for 4th down.
Mayfield to throw it this time. Dumps this to his running back, Chubb. Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of it.
Back with Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. The Browns with a football to begin quarter number 2, and they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. Officially no gain on the sneak, kind of a wasted play there, and now it's 3rd down. They'll go with the keeper, and he takes this one in for a Brown score. Baker Mayfield, his 4th touchdown on the year, and the Browns are able to cash in for 6. So he's able to sneak it in, and credit to the guys up front.
Oh, without a doubt, because they have the leverage on this play. We always talk about low man wins and one-on-one battles. That's exactly what happened there. Their offensive line, lower than the defensive front.
This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Saints, they trot their offense out here. And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. And he'll get this one up to the 26. Tackle made there by Myles Garrett.
Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here. And what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to settle down a little bit after they give up a touchdown.
Breeze to throw on 2nd down. That's out to Hill, right side complete. And he'll be brought down right at the 30 here.
And, partner, I think that's a great example that not all tight ends are created equal. Because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
Ready. We're waiting. Ready, what's that?
Here's Breeze. And this is going to be incomplete.
Not too many things get to a quarterback of this magnitude, but I think it's safe to say that pressure can get to any quarterback.
Now, he's obviously a great franchise quarterback, but felt the pressure, threw it incomplete. Now Landry. Nice job bringing that one back. 14 on the return. And the Browns will take over, 1st and 10. Here comes the Browns offense back onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked. But you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
And they're able to get this one across the 35. 1st down yardage on the first play of the drive. Give him 14. Baker Mayfield, obviously the #1 pick overall. That was controversial, though. What ultimately made the Browns go in his way?
Well, post-draft, I did hear a Browns executive talk about the efficacy of Baker Mayfield. In other words, how people rally to him, how people respond to him. He talked about seeing him at a workout, how he showed up, yelled out to the other guys. They yelled back with the same response, ran right to him, and they were ready to start the workout. He said things like that and his talent took the balance in his favor to go number one.
And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
It's a gain of 9 yards, and that's going to make it 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense now, they get ready to head back onto the field. And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old-school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive. Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line, 2nd and a yard. Now Breeze throwing on 2nd down. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 23 yards on the play.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time. I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. On 2nd down, here's Breeze. Throw left side, taken in by Hill. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, did a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. Now the Browns offense, they get ready to head back onto the field. The crowd may be losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy? I think the last 2 plays really illustrate how difficult it is to game plan against this guy because you know plays you can't account for them.
Yeah, those plays, those 2 that you just mentioned, a microcosm really of how he can hurt you. A good pickup there for the Browns, 15 yards.
And another example of why Baker Mayfield went number 1 in the draft. His ability to confound defensive coordinators. They played him for the pass. They covered it well. He takes off with his legs and scrambles for a big gain.
This is Carlos Hyde, the former 49er, his first carry. And he'll be brought down. Oh, that's a face mask. Certainly looked like it. Indeed, here come the flags.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
Mayfield. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Alex Okafor. In there to sack him for a loss of 6. He was trying to keep his eyes downfield. Nobody came open.
He's trying to do everything that he'd been taught, right? Every bit of the technique. But if no one's open, there is no technique except make sure you hold on to the ball as you go to the ground when you're getting sacked.
That catch good for 5. It's third down. The Browns on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is third and 10. 2 minutes remain here in the first half. We're back to New Orleans after this. A reminder coming up at halftime, the coach is back. He made it through the first weekend. That's the good news, and he's going to regale you with stats and scores from around the NFL here in the early games in Week 2. And he's taken down here by the Saints. Cameron Jordan in there to get him for a loss of 9, and that'll lead to fourth down.
There's a lot of discussion in the offseason about him having a big year and getting to the quarterback. They held him without a sack in Week 1, but how about here? Finally gets his first one of the season.
In the offseason, said he changed his diet, leaner, feels so good this year. Excited to see what type of a season he can have. The Saints coming out now to take the field. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter. A lot of time to change things. Now Breeze. Over the middle to Smith. And they'll bring him down here up at about the 22-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up third down. Now Breeze on third down. Looking for Ginn, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-round pick, Demarius Randall. And he's going to be brought down by the face mask. Here come the flags. This is going to get him a first down.
Face mask. Defense.
So that flag will cost him 15.
And it doesn't matter anymore how you get the face mask. Any part of it is going to be 15 yards.
First and 10, Mayfield got his man complete over the middle. It's Gordon, and he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. A gain of 6 there on first.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
They went with a dime look on defense. 2 extra defensive backs on the field and covered up essentially every blade of grass. That allowed them to disrupt the play.
Now Mayfield. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. The big boys snagging one. You don't see that every week.
No, you don't, but a lot of them are just reliving their old dreams, going back to when they were in youth football and in high school. They didn't always play defensive line. Some of them actually handled the football, and you can see the flashback when he grabbed that one.
To throw, it's Breeze. Toward the right sideline, but it's incomplete. Cameron Meredith, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
Out routes are always timing routes. And if the timing's off just a little bit, it can really throw off a play. It looked like he let him a little too much there.
Yeah, there was a fraction of a second because he caught it, just couldn't stay in bounds. Breeze now, looking deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, New Orleans. Ted Ginn, his second touchdown on the season. And the Saints are able to strike quickly for 6. Good start to the season for him. He had the touchdown last week in the opener and a second one in Week 2 now.
How about the pace he's already established, right? Not sure he can keep it up for an entire season, but don't burst the bubble because he thinks that he can.
Do guys go into a season with a goal for touchdown scored or yardage? What do you think?
I think every single one of the guys who's going to touch the football, they all have those types of goals. They all have those types of thoughts. And then they just have to see how the season unfolds if they can stay with it.
Unfolding so far so good for him. There's Baker Mayfield as he and the Browns offense comes back out. He's likely still kicking himself from the interception last drive that wound up leading to a go-ahead score.
And he's going to assume all that came with that one, all right? That's all on him. But he also knows he's got to erase it from his mind and get back out there. This drive, very important.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete. Another throw on second down, and this one incomplete as well. The Browns on third down, 3 for 7 so far in this game. This is 3rd and 10. From the gun, Mayfield. He completes it to Bryant. Past the 20. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Dez Bryant in the final seconds of the first half. And the Browns are able to cash in for 6.
Well, someone has a sense of the dramatic here, don't they? Scoring this late in the half to take the lead going into the locker room.
Now they just don't want to misstep misfortune on the next kickoff because there's still a little bit of time left on that clock.
Yeah, you do have to bring that up, don't you? In the NFL, every play is critical. And if you give up something cheap there, all that advantage they just gained goes right out the window.
Very short kick. This will be taken by one of the up men. And they're going to wind up with pretty good starting field position as they get it up past the 35. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. A final shot before half for Breeze. He's going to float this one deep right side. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down. We now proceed to the start of the second half. The visiting Browns with the lead. So a very short kick here. This will be taken by one of the up men. Out come the Saints now. They'll go on offense first here to begin the 3rd quarter. They're down here, but very much in this game. What's the tonality of a coach's talk when a game is within striking distance like this at intermission?
Typically what they're doing is emphasizing the things that went well in the first half and wanting more of that. Sure, you've got to go over some of the errors and clean up some things because there's a reason you're down. But overall, I think they want to stay positive, stay up with this team. We're just starting the second half, and we've got the football. Let's go ahead and punch it in, and then we'll take it from there.
See how that recipe works. Again, it's Kamara. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. Give him 8 yards there. Still a few inches to go, though, as it'll be 3rd down and about the length of the football. The offense on 3rd down tonight, just 1 for 5 to this point. They're looking at 3rd and a few inches. From the gun, it's Breeze. And Gibbs got it. And he'll be brought down with the 1st down and a late flag here, too. And he may get a few more tacked on for good measure.
Face mask. Defense.
Officials so cognizant of that call nowadays, but that would look pretty easy.
Yeah, you're right. They took out of their hands having to wonder whether it's a 5-yard or a 15-yard inadvertent or not. Now, it's a lot easier. You see it, you call it.
They go play action here on 1st down. He's going to float this one deep right side. And he's got it. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, New Orleans. Cameron Meredith, his first touchdown of the new season. And the Saints are able to cash in for 6. The fly route works for the TD ground.
And you know what the receivers love to say? If we get even with the defender, we're leaving. And that's exactly what he did all the way into the end zone. And then he was on the business end catching it once he got over the stripe.
This is taken at his 4. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Our focus now moving to Des Bryant as he heads back out there. Pretty good game for him so far. I guess he's still got time here to make this a great game, but so far, he's been solid.
I like where you're going with that because it has been pretty good, but there's always that hint that things can really escalate for him. And right now, they feel like they're somewhat keeping him in check, but he has found the end zone once. But, boy, he can explode at any moment.
Yeah, and when you hit that end zone once, you want to find it again, don't you?
Yes, you do.
Makes you hungrier.
You get greedy in a good way.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. 5 yards on the carry there, and it leaves him with third and about 6 yards to go.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
On third down, Mayfield. Over the middle, complete. That's Gordon. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. And they're able to convert on third with a solid gain of 23. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on third down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a first down. I always laugh when people say, what's the toughest route to defend? And I'm like, any of them, especially if it's a good receiver. That makes things very difficult. But when you're running a drag route, something short, shallow, going through defenders, using guys almost as screens in order to get open, that makes things tough for guys trying to get to the football.
First catch for last year's NFL catch leader, and it's a first down.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Got his man complete over the middle. It's Gordon. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, you often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess. Mayfield to throw it. Over the middle, complete. That's Gordon. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. It would be a very makeable field goal try from here, but instead they're going to go for it. They run. It's Johnson going absolutely nowhere. He'll wind up losing a yard or two. He only needed a yard, but he couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And the Saints will have the football back. And you wonder, Charles, could that decision come back to haunt them later?
And it really could, because in this situation, you kick the field goal in a tight game like this, that's a good play.
Yeah.
But maybe what he's saying to himself is, I'm just not a big proponent of the old idea that any possession that ends in a kick I'm happy with. He wanted to be really aggressive.
A little twist here in the third quarter.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
Breeze on the draw, gives to Kamara. And he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. No gain on the play, and it's going to bring up a third down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Drops this off to Kamara out of the backfield. It's a gain of 5, and it'll be fourth down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from the first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. A very good return there. Give him an even 20 yards. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10. Here's Nick Chubb as they try to fire up this run game. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
Sometimes with the running game, you just got to stick with it. Look, it's the 3rd quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
They run it again with Chubb. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
3rd and long for Mayfield. Eluding the pressure right. He's going to run, but he's got a long way to go. Pretty good job escaping the pressure. Gets him 15 yards on the scramble, but now it's 4th down.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
Here we go with Johnson. And he's got the 1st down yardage as he brings this up to the 47. They only needed a few inches, but still some anxious moments there, but they do convert on 4th.
And on 4th and 1 as a running back, you're looking for any seam you can find. This is not where you want to be a hero and break off a big one. You just need to make sure you get that yard. And here he picks up the 1st down with a couple of yards to spare.
8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old-school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Tackle is made by Cameron Jordan. The good run on 1st down followed up by a not-so-good run on 2nd down.
Now let's find out they're going to stick with the run here on 3rd down. A lot of people would love to see some play action here. I say go with your best running play over your best blocker.
Oh, and they had him stopped short of the 1st, but a penalty marker down. And that looked like a clear face mask to me.
Defense.
So they will accept the penalty and move forward. So the yellow flag came out, and that leads to a new set of downs for this offense. 1st and 10.
Here we go. 3-19.
A give. This is not much daylight after that as he's brought down.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
So that one will be accepted. After the penalty, a fresh set of downs. It's 1st and 10. Following the penalty, it's Hyde. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown. Carlos Hyde, his 1st touchdown here of the new campaign. And the Browns are able to cash in for 6. Oh, it's a fake. They'll try and throw for it. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how we're going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a...
Breeze wants the football. And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Wait.
Following the penalty, it's Kamara. And this has been a familiar sight all afternoon as they stop him behind the line. Back now here live in New Orleans. It's been a very hotly contested game to this point. Just a field goal separating these two teams as we get set for the 4th quarter.
Ready. Waiting.
On 3rd and long, it's Breeze. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards. Some good games going on in the early window. This might be the best of the bunch. Breeze now on first down. They complete it to him. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 17 more yards on that one as they keep the drive rolling.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You get better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
Now Breeze. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Smith. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down.
An ex-teammate used to tell me all the time, I hate experienced quarterbacks because no matter what, you really can't hide what you're doing. And I think that right there, he knew right away where the blitz was coming from.
And the Browns pressure gets to him that time, and he's going to go down. Joe Schobert able to disrupt yet another pass play, his third sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
And now Cleveland geared up to take the field. Mayfield going to lead the Browns up now, 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Here's Hyde as they begin on the ground. Gets it up past the 10 with a nice move. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2.
But Brandon, pace comes into play now because they've got the advantage. They've got the football, but they've got to be very careful about what speed they're going to play. You know, my music teacher back at New Paltz, Mrs. Barthema Bagley, used to say, don't go prestissimo when you really want to go largo. And what she meant by that is don't go too fast when you really want to go at a nice, slow, deliberate pace.
I am speechless. I am without speech. This quarterback now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. A run for Nick Chubb. And he stopped immediately there. In on the tackle, Alex Okafor. And in this situation with the lead, 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take. Puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
9 yards on the pickup there as they'll be left with 3rd and 1.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
On 3rd and 1, here's Mayfield. Completes this to Callaway over on the right side. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. First time they've looked his way in this game. He comes through picking up the first.
Couldn't just sit on it here, could they? Had to throw the ball on 3rd down. Got the big completion in the pickup. Fresh set of downs now. They've got to feel good.
And defensively a backbreaker. Handoff comes to Chubb. Not much there. Maybe a couple up to the 35. Offensively with the lead, you want to run the ball, keep the clock going, but you also want to still kind of be in attack mode too, right? So how do you do that and not come back on your heels?
And I think about all the practices we've watched where they have that tempo period to go over things just like this, where they describe the scenario, tell you what they're looking for, and make sure that they're still attacking, yet at the same time not going so fast as to leave too much time on the clock.
Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
It's the linebacker, Manti Te'o, on the stop. This drive's taken more than 3 minutes off the clock already as they come up on second down. Time for a break. We'll come back, see what transpires after this. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And again, it's Chubb. And he'll take this one down to the 36. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. Now, this is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Mayfield over the middle and into the hands of his receiver Landry. And whistles, and we're going to have another stoppage of play as they call the timeout on defense with 1:53 left. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. There'll be a 47-yard attempt from the left hash. And this one is right down the middle. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So they get to 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. Now the Saints offense, they get ready to go back to work here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm?
A crusher there as it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Joe Schobert. And his guys will take over at the 25-yard line.
And that one? Oh, it's going to hurt big time. You're in the 2-minute drill trying to get your guys down the field, and it's looking like they're going to go up just short, as this is definitely not his best throw. And it'll wind up being intercepted.
And he'll fight forward maybe to the line of scrimmage, but that's all. Now the Saints will use their third and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming second down play. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. Well, the lead late in the 4th, but Mayfield's going to throw it. He'll buy some time right, and he'll avoid the tackle there with a slide. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1.
They brought the blitz that time, and I thought they were going to get to him, but instead, he flipped it on its ear and ended up picking up positive yardage.
I thought he was dead to rights, but you are exactly correct, sir. Able to turn that into a positive. The first NFL touchdown for Georgia's Nick Chubb. And the Browns are going to tack on to their advantage.
And that touchdown should make you feel comfortable. But do you really feel like it's totally over yet?
Not totally, but I think you're pretty much there.
Yeah, you've still got to make sure you stay with it, do all the right things down the stretch, especially on defense. But that touchdown there, you've got to feel good about your chances.
And he'll get into the end zone as the 2-point conversion is successful. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Out onto the field comes New Orleans. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. Breeze, one of the best ever in these situations as he's trying to get his guys set. And he clocks it with just over 30 seconds left. Opportunities 3 for 9. This will be 3rd and a mile. Shotgun now for Breeze. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 35. And And he is into the end zone for the touchdown. So they still need a miracle with the clock where it's at, but they get one piece to the puzzle done.
Still have hope. No, we're not cheering. No, we're not rooting, but I am excited about this. I know you are, too. We got a ball game again after that big-time strike.
Big-time strike, and you are right. Don't go anywhere yet. This thing's not done. Lutz good on the extra point. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Oh, the Saints recovered it. New Orleans football. So they've accomplished half the mission, Charles. They get the onside kick. They do need a touchdown here, but they've got some time to do it.
In the excitement, there's no need to press. Plenty of time. They have the opportunity. Now they just need to execute and finalize things.
Ready?
He'll look to throw. And he can't hang on to it. That would have sealed it. Instead, second down. The way he's throwing the football today, almost a surprise when he doesn't complete a pass like happened there, but he needs a few more to get his guys downfield.
Well, the way he's thrown it leads him to believe that he's going to get those completions. That means the guys going after passes, they'll run even harder because they expect it as well.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
He's back to throw. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. Down to 3 seconds. 2 seconds. Well, we saw a close game that kept us on the edge of our seats down to that final whistle. And right before that final whistle, defense with one last exclamation mark there, getting the sack to end it.
I love how you phrased it because we were waiting to see what would happen. Obviously, we thought something would happen downfield. Instead, it happens in the offensive backfield, and that's your ball game.
So for the Browns, it was a great all-around performance as they come out of this one with